Hello all, welcome to Gravity Productions. Today we are here at a pot making industry to show you the full process of pot making, in which clay is turned into beautiful pots, which is mostly used in rural areas in India.
The art of pottery takes us back to the invention of fire, a turning point in the evolution of man. This video will take us through the whole process of pottery practiced by a family who have been in this line of work for many generations in Kerala. Pots are made of clay taken especially from mud fields rich in its content. The brick red rock particles in the clay are scraped off. It is done so to prevent the pot from cracking due to the brittle element of rocks. This is the first step in pot making. The specialty of the clay used in pot making is the stickiness. The stickiness helps in holding together the pot while molding. The family takes the clay from Vadiyar in Kerala. The refined clay is then mixed with fine sand and it is kneaded thoroughly to get the right consistency and moisture. The potter's wheel is set in motion with a long rod before depositing the clay dough into the middle of the wheel. The potter presses his hand into the middle of the lump of clay, creating a slight depression in the middle. Then he works the clay up and molds it into a pot with an enlarged middle and a slightly smaller top. Water is used to shape the pot into its desired shape. The potter scrapes off excess and smoothens the surface using a flat wooden tool. The rim of the pot is created using a thick, bendy, leather-like cloth strip. By placing the bendy strip, the top portion of the pot folds backward and becomes the rim of the pot. After the desired shape is made, the potter plunges a sharp iron needle-like tool into the bottom of the pot. The pot is then taken off the wheel swiftly. At this stage, the bottom of the pot will be hollow. The rest of the clay on the wheel is molded into different pots. Potters have been forming vessels from clay bodies for millions of years. When the nomadic man settled down and discovered fire, the firing of clay pots were not far behind. Pinched pots made from balls of clay, into which fingers or thumbs are inserted to make the opening, may have been the first pottery. Coil pots formed from long coils of clay that are blended together were not far behind. These first pots were fired at low temperatures and were thus fragile and porous. Ancient potters partially solved this by burnishing the surfaces with a rock or hardwood before firing. These low temperature fired pots were blackened by these fires. Decoration was generally the result of incisions or insertions of tools into soft clay. Early potters created objects that could be used for practical purposes, as well as objects that represented their fertility gods. The potter who spins the wheel and molds the clay gets up to rupees 10 per each pot. Most of the earthen pots made are used in toddy tapping. Earthen pots are vanishing from Indian kitchens. To preserve this declining art, government have brought out suggestions to replace the aluminium foil packets with eco-friendly earthen pots in Indian railway pantries. These measures should be done to help the specialized workers who are left without jobs and need the aid of the governments. Extraction of soil is also an area that needs attention and help, as it is a raw material for the making of pots. pots are then dried in shade for 4 days. After which the pots are manually beaten using a wooden tool on the outside and patted by a smooth rock from the inside. The repeated beating of the pot flattens and joins the pot's bottom, thereby closing the hole. After that, using another flat wooden tool, the skilled worker smoothens the surface. Then, wooden seals are used to mark their designs onto the pot. The designs that are beaded onto the pot will expel the remaining rock particles, making the pot more stronger and durable. The finished product is then placed on dried coconut leaves. It is kept in shade the first day. On the second day, the pot is put out in the sun partially, and in the fourth day, it is kept in sunlight for the whole day. On the fifth day, the pots are ready to go into the kiln or the furnace specially prepared for the making of pots. The kiln is prepared using dried coconut leaves, wood, hay, small wooden sticks and mud. The preparation of the kiln or furnace requires 12 hours, and after the pots are laid up, it burns through the night. After which the pots are ready to be sold. A kiln will have up to 300 pots and each pot will be sold for 130 rupees. Earthen pots are used in cooking has got a lot of advantages as it is made out of pure clay. It also cools down the water stored and help in keeping food fresh longer and toxic free. This business is degrading as people tend to buy pots that are made up of synthetic substances. The workers don't let strangers enter and watch the kiln as it is considered a bad omen in their culture and will result in the pots getting cracked.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and also like and comment.